Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. It's a long time coming, this one now. So when was the original one? 1989 or something?
Oh, yeah.
So here we are. Sequel. What'd you think of this?
The image on screen represents what I think of this. Do you know what? Everybody knows I am a big Michael Keaton fan. I'm a huge fan of the original movie. I loved it. I really, really loved it. I was really excited about this. I'm not saying this is bad or not worth watching. It was fine. That's probably the best I can get to. It was fine. It just never blew us away. I don't remember being excited. And I've got a few gripes about it, which, I'm sure you may agree with, James. One is a large proportion of the cast you could have just cut out completely because I don't think they need to be there. And my other gripe is, and again, this is a misery thing, I guess, is that one of the key facts from the last film that I really enjoyed was the big kind of musical scene at the end. I thought the musical bit at the end of this was flat as a fart. I couldn't hear what they were singing. I didn't know the song. It felt disjointed. It just didn't work for me. Keaton's spectacular, as he would be. Movie was just okay.
For me, so we saw this together, and I've been asked a few times by different people what I thought of this, and every time I say the exact same thing. I think it was consistently decent, but at no point in the movie was I ever impressed with a sequence. Like, I don't remember that much from it, because we saw it a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
I just don't remember that much from it. So I think it's kind of forgettable. It doesn't have that oomph that original film has. And I'm not really a massive fan of that. Like, I like it. I remember liking it as a kid, but I've never been, oh my God, it's amazing. I love it, So like going into this, I like the Tim Burton-iness of it. I really like the effects of it. Like there's some very kind of old school puppetry and stop motion and stuff like that. I thought all that was really cool. Michael Keaton is great when he's in it, but he's not in it that much. Like it takes a long time. His scenes are kind of few and far between. And I thought that was kind of a shame. And I know you want to kind of preserve the impact of it, but when he doesn't have that much impact in it anyway, I think I would have just rathered he be in it more. Yeah. Yeah, and on your point of characters that like could have just been cut out, you have two kind of villain, so we're doing spoilers for this. You have two villain characters in this. So you have Monica Bellucci as like Beetlejuice's wife, who was the one who murdered him, which I thought was actually, I did like that bit where you see them, the flashback, him as a human and stuff like that. That was kind of cool. So she's like this kind of like Frankenstein's bride kind of woman who there's this another kind of cool sequence where she like reattaches herself and stuff. I thought that was interesting. But the whole movie, she's pursuing Beetlejuice. You didn't like, and she doesn't do anything. She kills some people she comes across, and he's just kind of running afraid of her, and that's it. So you could just completely cut her out of the movie and just change Beetlejuice's motivation to he just wants to escape. Like there's no real reason this is adding any kind of drama to that part of the story. Do you know what I mean? I think the concept is fun of like Beetlejuice's wife. I think that's interesting, but like you don't do anything interesting with that. So you have that, and then sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, I really enjoyed her introductory scene. I thought the stapling of herself back together.
Yeah.
And, we get the Danny DeVito
that was great. I like Danny DeVito, yeah.
I love that. And then for the rest of the movie, she just kind of wanders around and sucks the life out of people now and then.
She
but
kills
does
Bob.
Nothing. Does note. It's like, what the fuck? What's the point then?
And like towards the end, she just like walks past as Beetlejuice just left or something like that. So it's just, she's still there. It's like,
so here's the thing then. And this is God's honest truth. I'm not bullshitting. As we've been talking there, you've said that there are parts of this film you've forgotten. I'm just thinking, I haven't got a clue what happened to her at the end. We got the big kind of finale where she walked into the church, and then I cannot for the life of us remember how she was dispatched or what happened to her.
I think there's two villains, and both villain sections end kind of with an eh. So my memory is that Jenna Ortega, who's fine in this, she's just like, she's the same character she is in everything. I think she's just okay, and I love Jenna Ortega, but she's okay. She like picks up the magic book and she summons one of the snake things to come.
Well, sandworm.
No setup.
Yeah. She walks in, sandworm eats them, done. Yeah.
That's it. It's just like So there's that, and then there's her storyline in it, and actually I like the idea of it. I thought there was some good bits with that. But she has kind of a romance thing with a neighbor kid.
Yeah.
Who turns out to be a ghost, who then turns out very similar to the latest Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah.
And then he turns out to be a serial killer. So he's basically tricking her to swap places with him so he can come back to the Earth. Now, you have two villains in the movie. Neither of them intersect. None of those storylines intersect at any point. And then
they don't do anything.
That just he does. Yeah, he brings her into like the underworld kind of part. And that's why she's running around there. And then Beetlejuice just stops him. Yeah. Now, I like the line. I thought it was a fun moment. That's probably my favorite line in the movie, where he's like, sayonara, fucker, and he knocks him down to hell. Yeah. But like, it was just sort of like, oh, that's it. That's all you're doing with this.
You're done. There's also a very interesting kind of throwback, really, is in terms of one of the original actors, the guy who plays the dad, has kept himself into a little bit of bother over the years. So there was a decision.
I think that's putting it lightly.
Yeah. There was a decision made that, he shouldn't, because he's still alive, the guy.
Yeah.
A decision was made that he shouldn't be in the movie because of all of those issues. But then they still made him a pretty significant character in the film. So I don't understand. Why did you have him in at all? Because you see him on multiple scenes wandering around without his head and stuff.
Well, there's a stop motion. There's a stop motion. I suppose because you're dealing with the underworld thing, it's supposed to be a fun gag of including the character without having to have the actor. But you have like a gravestone with the actor's picture on it, and then you have like the stop motion bit, the flashback bit where you see him there as well. It's like
it just doesn't make sense to me that if he's got all that around him, just cut him out of a throwaway line at the start about what's happened.
He died a while ago.
Yeah, and then leave it.
Yeah. I think other highlights, because I want to be more positive. Like, I didn't hate.
The more I'm talking, the more I'm getting irritated about it, to be honest. I'm getting angry with it.
Let's turn these wheels around a little bit. I thought Willem Dafoe was great in this. I thought the kind of detective, he's like so he plays like an actor, like a Hollywood actor who died, and now he's like a police detective. Yeah. So he's like playing the detective, do you know what I mean, rather than being one. I thought that was really fun. I like that element. Again, it goes nowhere. Doesn't impact the plot at all. But it was just a kind of a fun thing. Yeah. I thought Catherine O'Hara was excellent in this. Like, I thought she's just great in everything she's in, so I really enjoyed her. Winona Ryder was fine.
Do you think?
Nothing exceptional about her. She wasn't bad.
So I need to go back and watch the original. And, I think the last thing I saw Winona Ryder in was Stranger Things. She was in that as the mum, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I thought she was just weird in this. I don't know if her acting was weird or if she was playing a kooky, crazy character, which she was to an extent.
In the original,
I just found her really kind of like amateur hour, to be honest. It was like you'd gone to the local playhouse and plucked her off the stage,
Yeah, I think to circle back to the other, I think, character highlight of it was Justin Theroux as the kind of the TV executive guy that's like trying to marry her. I thought he was fun as well. But yeah, I do like the idea that she's becoming like an Elvira kind of type.
Yes, that was an interesting host.
That was an interesting element, but then we move away from that very quickly.
But again, I might be wrong. Again, because to be honest, I've forgotten chunks of the film. I might be wrong, but we could have had much more fun with that. We could have had more of her seeing and interacting with ghosts in the studio or around about her and things like that. I don't think we had any of that, did we really? I don't think she really, like when she was wandering around the town and stuff.
Effectively none. It's Jenna Ortega who sees the ghost. She doesn't see any ghosts at all.
Yeah.
In the whole movie, I don't think she sees any ghosts. Yeah. She sees Beetlejuice like in flashes. Twice. And that was kind of a cool, creepy kind of thing, like earlier to establish his presence.
But that could have been fun, seeing some of these kind of characters. Did the Bobs get back as well at the end? Because they were let loose in the town, weren't they? They were running around randomly with the little shrunken heads.
I don't remember. I think the cops might have gathered them up. But yeah, I like the Bobs. The Bobs was a cool part as well. Yeah. Do you know, it's just very unimpactful. There's a lot of good stuff in it.
Yeah. Do you want a Beetlejuice 3 then?
I feel like just for the naming convention, you have to do one.
I mean, let's be honest.
Beetlejuice, you know?
Yeah, I'm being negative about this because I'm just disappointed a bit.
Yeah.
But there's no denying it's made a shit ton of cash and it's got people excited and there's toys and pajamas and figures. And
yeah, so it's in Primark the other day and there's just, everywhere, but Beetlejuice stuff.
People are jumping on it. So I'd be surprised if they didn't try and claw them back for a third.
I think at least I'm trying to think of who owns Beetlejuice. Warner Brothers.
It's Warner Brothers, I think.
Warner Brothers.
Is it Universal? Because it's over in the States, aren't they? They do the Universal Horror Nights and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, you might be right. Anyway, I a streaming show maybe.
Yeah.
Might be a possibility, or an animated series. I think possibly. Yeah. Tim Burton doesn't want to do one, or he says it'll be so long. Like this would be halfway between 1 and 3. Which I mean, you're not going to do on Michael Keaton's 90 or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So money talks, doesn't it? Like if this makes $300 million, like they'll probably do another one. And like I think it's a fun world that I like. So I like being in it, even if the movie's not great. It's almost like a bit like Pirates of the Caribbean, where like even the bad ones I still kind of enjoy. Yeah. So like it's not bad at all. Like, and I have no nostalgia for this franchise, but I think it's just a fun universe, and I like it. So.
Despite all my moaning and groaning, I would watch a third one, and I'd watch anything with Michael Keaton in. I think for me, summing it up, it's okay. It didn't set the world alight. It's not horrendous. If you're at home and you've got a spare couple of hours and it's on TV, it's worth flicking on just to watch. I don't know that I would recommend people rush to the cinema to see it, unless you're a massive Beetlejuice fan.
No, when it's on Netflix.
Watch it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what Beetlejuice overview. Let me know in the comments if you have seen this film and what you think of it. And let me know, would you want to see a Beetlejuice number 3?